Okay, I think we might be back. Maybe. Possibly.
Maybe. Sorta.
Oh, and you can see stuff. Look at this. Alright.
1 second, I have to actually try to look.
It looks like we're back.
Cool. Hey, yeah, I see.
Alright, I think we're actually back and working. Who would have thought?
Cool.
Alright, so I'll just repeat what I said before for anybody who was joining or, appeared right when I somehow screwed this all up. But I want to do a cap kit for this JVC D32 consumer grade TV that will very soon be getting a recap and an RGB mod. And I asked Danielle to join because every time we're in the Discord chat together and we're trying to find any kind of part at all, actually, she usually finds the part before I'm even in the right section. So, gonna steal her expertise here and try to get the kit going. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this standing up, but screw it, I'll make do somehow. Let me now I think you could see everything good enough. So you do you still suggest that we use Arrow? Because I know they stopped the free next day shipping on everything, but once you pass a certain price point, they will do free shipping, right?
Yeah, and it's free overnight shipping.
Mm-hmm.
So what we saw was like it's $50. Once you hit $50, then it's a better idea to go with them because then you get it next day or next business day.
Works for me. I usually have everything over that anyway. So we've, as you could see, we have already removed the anode cup. Jose did that the last time he was there. And it's been off for, I don't know, months now. So this is about as safe as one could imagine. It's obviously not plugged in. Just, safety first. And I guess what I'm just going to go through and do is call out each cap and then mark it so that we know that we already have it listed and just kind of go from there, I guess.
Okay. And I have a handy dandy notebook, so.
Yeah, actually, would you be able to at some point throw this in a spreadsheet so we could share this with people?
Yeah.
All right, so the very first cap, and by the way, I'm going to say UF instead of microfarad. I know that drives nerds crazy, but there's just too many syllables to continue to repeat.
Okay.
But this is a 220 UF 10-volt capacitor. And the other thing that I'll try to forget to get my digital calipers out, is I guess you'll also need the spacing on the bottom. And Arrow calls that something very weird. In fact, I'm going to look up what it's called, just because I'm sure people would want to know that. Because Steve and I were having this problem a while ago, when I was trying to, talk in Bob language, and he's like, yeah, but what's the pin spacing? And I was just reading it right off of Arrow and not being able to figure out which was which. It's in here somewhere.
Also, do any of your caps, is there any clearance issues too?
There shouldn't be, so height should not be an issue at all for these. It's terminal pitch, that's what they call it. Terminal pitch is what they call the distance between. So, the terminal pitch on this one. Let's see, is this? Is about 2 millimeters. I'm looking now and I can't see a single capacitor where height would be a problem.
Okay.
So I don't even think we should bother with that, to be honest.
I know that's more of a thing for like consoles or
Power supplies.
power supplies, yeah.
Alright, I think I am going to have to wimp out and get a chair. I'll be right back. Alright, that's better. It's not the standing that bothers me. It's the fact that I would have to bend over and be at like half height this whole time. I don't think my back would like that very much. So
Someone asked in chat, what model is it?
it is a D32, and you know what? That's a good point. Let me get the exact model for people that are interested, because this supposedly is one of the best consumer grade TVs you can get, but we won't know until it's recapped and tested. One sec. Alright, so it is AV-32DO2. Not sure. Probably not getting that in on. And this is from February 2002. And this TV, I think, comes in like 27, 32, and 36-inch sizes. I believe somebody out in Kentucky offered to donate a 36-inch to the cause when I'm out there, and I'm able to pick it up.
That's a hefty boy.
Yeah, I had to give up carrying those by myself. Now I bother Beast, who doesn't seem to mind, because I think to him it feels like lifting a loaf of bread. So, all right, so I get that one, and that's surprisingly the only capacitor on the neck board. I've seen other neck boards that have a bunch. This one did not. So I guess I'll just jump in. There's two big ass ones over here. Try to. So this is a 160 volt 100 UF. And if I guess my rule of thumb for caps, which some people say it's useless, some people say whatever, might as well, is that if there's one available at a higher voltage that's pretty much the same size, I usually grab that anyway, just because it's the worst thing that could happen is nothing. Try and find the terminal pitch on this one. It says 5.7, but I think it's a little bit bigger. Wait a minute. 8.3. Am I aiming at the right one? Yeah, I guess 8.3.
Okay.
Luckily, they should all be at about the same size, though. This heat sink's exactly in the way of where I need to see. That's another 160 volt, 100 microfarad. So it is the same one.
Same terminal pitch.
Yeah, same exact cap.
I'm curious, what kind of caps are in there?
This one is Rubicon.
Okay.
You got a 100 microfarad 16 volt. So yeah, all right. That can, you can completely see the difference between the 160 volt and the 16 volt. Let me see if I can get the camera moved over. Yeah, giant 160, tiny little 16 volt. 1 microfarad, 15 volt, 50 volt.
Okay. Was the terminal pitch on the other, the 16 volt one?
Oh, yep, sorry.
I feel like that one would be smaller, but
Way smaller, yeah.
like the 2 millimeter ish.
It could be 4 millimeter, and but so this is one of those spacings where the legs of the capacitors are kind of bent out into the side. So the terminal pitch, I don't think would have to match whatever the pitch of the board is. Let me try to get the cap itself's pitch. Yeah, about 2 millimeter. Good guess.
I feel like almost all the smaller ones are the same size.
Yeah, and unless it's a huge difference, then, you know, when you have space like this, it's easy to just kind of finagle it all in. What else? I think for me, the hardest part is just getting my giant head into this thing to be able to find it. 10 microfarad, 50 volt.
Okay.
Looks like another 2 millimeter. It's you with the airplane going overhead.
Yep.
We hear a lot of sounds, but if I ever heard an airplane that loud, I'd be frightened.
We have a small plane airport, like across the street.
Oh, cool. 1000 UF, 25 volt. This is a larger one. Trying to find the pitch. I'm pretty sure this is one of those wider,
Like
compared
an
to
8?
the other one. I think it's more like a 6. So if you find, if you find 1,000 microfarad, 25, 30, 40 volt, that's within that ish, that should be fine. Yes.
I'm writing all these down first, by the way.
That's cool. Whatever's easiest for you. I just want to double check that one. Yeah, that should be that same 6. Next is the 1000 UF 16 volt. And that one's got, let's see if I can get the camera in here. So this one right here, you could see the pad around it has like the extra circles around it. That's for lack of a better description. I'm pretty sure that, Like, I could just use two of these, two 25-volt ones on this one, because there's a lot of room to go around. And if anybody in the chat knows why there's multiple circles around it, I never figured that out for some motherboards.
I'm trying to think of what that looks like.
Crop circles.
just over it.
Okay. I'm glad we're doing this on a consumer grade and not a PVM, because we'd be here for about 4 days. 16 volt, 470 microfarad. And this one's got some room, so I could just jam the calipers right in here. And that's like the 2.5. Well, what is this? You piece of shit. It's like 3 or something millimeter for the pitch.
Like the 2.54?
Yeah, but this is one of the other ones where you could tell they stretched the legs out, so pretty much anything will fit there. 10 UF 50 volt. Another 2. It's got to be a 2 millimeter. Another smaller one. .7 UF 50 volt 50. I guess there was 2 of those. 4.7 and then 50 volt. Yep, one right next to each other. $160 volt 1 UF. That's surprisingly a smaller one. Normally the 160 volts are the giant caps. The last time I tried to do a cap kit by myself, Console 5 had already had one, but I was just practicing because at least I knew I had something to reference.
Yeah.
And there were 2 different occasions where I had to call Steve. Like, this doesn't look like a normal capacitor. What is this? And he gave me credit. He's like, all right, you get points for recognizing that's not a normal cap, but here's what it is. And, you know, I would have never figured it out. I'd have known it was different, but I would have just searched for pictures. 10 UF 250 volt.
250 volt?
Yes. Surprisingly small for that. Let me double check the pitch.
So DJ Cali, I'm assuming that's how you say their name. You guys are not noting down the cap name and number next to the value?
The what?
You know, like the capacitor, like C1, C2, C3. The little markings on the board.
Yeah, you know, I guess I would rather do that. I mean, I guess we probably could, but I'd rather do that as I'm replacing the caps. That way I have a nice clean view and I know exactly what it is that I'm looking at. But you're right. I guess I'll just start from now. We don't have to go back for the other ones, but that was C521, I think. The problem is the way this is... Yeah, that's got to be C521.
I know for me, on a lot of the stuff with a lot of capacitors, I guess you could say exchange them, you know, as soon as I desolder it, and then I just take the next one and solder it in.
That's exactly what I do, and also that's I mark them all with a marker, so that if something's got a magic marker on it, it hasn't been swapped yet. 35 volt, 100 microfarad, C525. 35 volt, 100 microfarad, C525. Did I get that right the first time?
No, I'm laughing because Ash found the service manual for it.
Yeah, but Ash, those service manuals usually say it's for multiple models, and while I think I haven't had an issue with it, I'd rather just do it this way. And it also gets a good sense of what to expect, what to look for. It kind of prepares you for what you're going to get into when you actually do it. But thanks, Ash. Real fucking helpful now, not before the stream.
The thing is, though, I will say, coming from pinball stuff, I have a Last Action Hero pinball machine, and you come with a service manual, and the service manual is completely and utterly wrong.
Really?
So it might, I haven't looked at the boards, but for the LED, or for the incandescent bulbs, I'm replacing them with all LEDs, and it told me there are 64 bulbs. There are 159.
That is hysterical.
So I trust service manuals to a certain extent, but I also double check them personally.
This one's 1000 UF 35 volt C527. And yeah, seeing the sizes too, and not, seeing the location of all these things, knowing that, like, if possible, I'm going to get higher voltage for every one of these, knowing that there's plenty of room in at least every single space I've seen so far. There's maybe one that might be a tight fit if it was too wide or too tall. So I think that's kind of helpful as well sometimes. I think this is the first live stream I've done in a while where I haven't been drinking anything. just realized that. Oh, we missed one over by the power. What the hell? 25 volt, 47 UF. Double check. Yep, and C972. Hey Ash, if you want to be helpful, why don't you grab that service manual and verify each of the C numbers that we call out. So if I call out C972 as, what was that? As 47 UF and 25 volt.
He actually said that the manual doesn't have a cap list.
Oh, well fuck you then, Ash. Okay. Let's see if I missed any others over here. Oh, yeah, one of them. Alright. We have 470 microfarad and then 200 WV. So this is one of the weirder ones that I might have to call if we can't find it.
You said there are 4 of them?
No, one of these, it's 470.
Okay.
And then 200, what? I forgot what WV stands for. Another one that is 50 volt, 100 microfarad. Let me see if I can get the C numbers of those. C907 and C914.
914 is the most recent one?
Yeah, 914 is the 50 volt, 100 UF, much smaller one.
Okay. It says working voltage.
Huh. Well, that'll definitely be one of the ones I'll make. I'll make Steve double check for me to make sure I don't order the right thing. The last thing I want to do is blow up this awesome TV. So one of the main reasons I'm doing the recap on this is because it's a little blurry, But if you mess with it, you have moments of incredibly sharp and awesome picture. So once we get the cap list done, when they arrive, I want to put this thing back together, get some really good video of the CRT, and then cap it, and then get more video the same day. 2200 microfarad, so 2200, 25 volt, C516.
Are you going to RGB mod the TV?
Hell yes. These are the ones that supposedly have 800 line tubes. Now, I don't know if they're measuring it different. I don't know if it's a gimmick, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I want to know, why aren't you drinking?
That is a great question. It's 2 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I see that it's C425. I'm trying to get a value off of it. Yeah. I hope I don't have to take the cap out just to find the value. I've had to do that before. 470. 35 volt, 470 microfarad, 35 volt.
Okay.
And the one next to it's C427. I like the little ones that you could just bend and read the things off of. I don't know how many times I've just smashed my head into the neck of this thing, but...
Please don't break the neck with your head.
I know, Cruz would kill me.
Or break your head with the neck. I mean, either one.
My head'll heal.
Apparently it's raining out. So in case you hear rain, I'm sorry.
It's a lot worse than what they normally hear from live streams from New York. It's 50 volt 1 UF. And then C424. .35 volt 100 UF. And for anybody joining, I know it's called microfarad. I just don't like saying the whole thing every freaking time. I wonder how much Sharpie I'm going to end up with on my hand before this is all over.
Enough.
Okay. Put the neck board here. 4.7 UF, 50 volt. C, it looks like 001. Looks like C1. Yeah, C3 is the next one, 003. And that is 16 volt, 1000 microfarad. C2, C002 is 10 UF, 50 volt. Alright, at least these are going a little smoother. 47 UF, 25 volt, C433.
433?
Correct. 100 UF, 16 volt, C014, C14.
Oh wow, a live stream. Apparently, it has been a while.
100 UF 16 volt C23. Yeah, I think the last one I did was Virtual Boy, and then I can't even remember what I did before that. 10 UF 50 volt. Ow! Fucking neck. I want to have this indented in my forehead. C28.
That's hilarious. Please stop hurting yourself off the neck.
I just got to get these caps down the middle done, and then I'll be able to go around it. 10 UF 50 volt C28.
You already said that
I already
one.
did that one. Then it's then same thing for C45 045. Maybe all the banging in my head's getting to me. 10. Wait, is that a 10 or 100? 100 UF 16 volt C853. 100 UF 16 volt C854. Almost done with the middle.
Protect your neck.
50 volt 10 UF C807. 16 volt 220 UF C952.
What was the C number for the one, just the 10 microfarad one?
C807 807. Sorry.
Thanks. I started writing 50 microfarad instead of 10, like 50 volt. Numbers are hard, kids.
16 volt 100 UF C802. C800. This one's going to be a pain to get to.
Are you planning to replace the caps while the board is still in the TV?
Kinda. It really depends. I don't like unhooking all of these things because, I mean, inevitably I'm gonna, it's one less or one more thing that could go wrong. And to be honest, replacing the caps might not nearly be as hard as, because just getting them out and getting them back in isn't that hard. It's careening my head around to try to find them is the harder part.
Ash said that you're going to attempt a world first to recap a TV while it's still on.
Oh yeah, no thanks. 25 volt 100 UF, and that was the C800. I don't like to leave things like that are messes of things like this unplugged for a long period of time, because it's just the more time goes by, the less of a chance of me remembering where everything went, and then you got to reference pictures, and there's always a chance of me screwing it up. So leave it all together for this, take it apart for the actual recap.
Hey, Daniel Black, you just have to realize you might be 6'2", but I'm like 5'6", so I have the opposite problem. I can't reach my upper cabinets in my kitchen.
All right, one super tricky one. What do we got? What do we got? Almost 470, 470.
Okay.
Something 5 volt. I don't know if it's 25, 35. God damn it. This is the hardest one so far. It's a giant thing right next to it. It's C951.
So we're gonna call it a blink 5-volt. I have to show this off. Let's see if I can do this without.
Show it off.
Ash noticed my X68K.
Yeah. How's that core coming, Ash? All right. Let me try this a little different.
Yeah, I feel like 25-volt would be it. You've had some few.
Yeah, you know what?
35, so you could just put a 35 in there.
Yeah, you know what? Just let's get 35 or older, or put like a marker that we don't know, because I couldn't get my giant head back there. But yeah, I mean, we'll just get the highest voltage we can. It's a fat one, so it's not as big as like some of the giant ones, but there's plenty of room over there. So if we end up with a 50 volt and it turned out it was only 25, absolutely no big deal. All right, one more right in head smash neck range. 16 volt, 100 UF, C707.
You said 100 microfarad?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. .22 UF, so 0.22, 50 volt, C202.
Is it tiny?
Yeah, it's pretty small. 2200 microfarad, so 2200. It looks like 6.3 volts. Yeah, 6.3 volts. And C111. Uh, 100 UF, 16 volt. C856. And C857 is the same thing. 100 UF, 16 volt.
What were the two numbers? C856 and 57?
Correct. C810 is a giant pain in the ass to get to. $50 volt, 0.47 UF. It's an odd one. C811 is that's another strange one. These two look completely different than the rest of the caps. They're a different brand. Their writing is top to bottom instead of down the side. Try the old camera trick. Come on. Oh, that's just a 1 microfarad.
What voltage?
50 volt.
Okay. Have you licked your finger and felt around for voltage yet?
That'd be a hell no. Another 50 volt 1 UF. Weird though, it looks totally different. And that is C706. It's almost like, yeah, I'll take a picture, and it's almost like they were like manufacturing these, ran out of caps, and then like threw some new ones in afterwards.
I'm curious if like maybe the tolerances are slightly different.
Oh, you know what? That's a good point. $10 UF 50 volt C634. $100 UF 16 volt C626. $1,000 UF 25 volt C620. I don't know what that is. Shit. Oh, that could be C626, and the other one that I just said before that could be C625.
Okay.
Yeah, the 100 UF 16 volt was 625, and then the 1000 UF 25 volt was 626.
We're almost to page 2.
Ooh.
Of my nice handwriting.
We're almost done too, though. I think I don't. Well, yeah. Fuck it. I'm trying to do all the harder ones first. Gotta get it there. Well, this one's 627. I'm having a hell of a time trying to figure out what it is. 0.47 UF 50 volt. I'm gonna snap a picture of that though, just to make sure. Yeah, 50 volt, 0.7 UF.
Okay.
Man, what a pain that one was. All right. Yeah. C628 is... Oh, yeah, these giant ones, huh?
How many caps are we up to? I would have to count.
I guess I gotta take a picture of this one too.
We're up to 50 caps.
Really?
Yep.
I'm so glad I'm doing this with somebody else, because it just would have taken forever.
Yeah, marking and then looking and then marking and writing and yeah.
Bumping my head, forgetting where I was at, all the good stuff. Sucks the damn iPhone will let you leave the flashlight on while taking the picture.
You could have a flashlight a regular flashlight.
1,000 UF, 25 volts for both. And you're right, but that's not, but that's not consolidating your resources here.
And you said that's 628, and what was the next C number?
Hold on, let me just double check. So yeah, that is definitely, they're both 1,000 microfarad 25 volt, C628 and C625.
Wait, you already had a 625.
629, you're right. I was reading D625 off of that. This is C629 and C628. Good call, thank you. So Ash, since you're here, this board right here, I believe this is just the processing board for all of the different input signals. Is that correct? And there's a bunch more to go, but they're all very similar and they're all much easier to get to. So 16 volt, 33 microfarad, C352. 16 volt, 100 microfarad, C287. 10 microfarad, 50 volt, C286. 50 volt, 2.2 microfarad, C284. 220 microfarad, 16 volt. Can't tell on this one. I think it's C282. 50 volt, 47 microfarad, C113.
Ash said yes, it looks like the jungle chip stuff.
Yeah, so we definitely got to do that too then. Boop. 47 UF, 50 volt. Let me double check. Yeah, 47. That for half a second looked like 0.47. And that's C026. You know what? That might be 0.47. Let me take a picture. Yeah. All right, 0.47. I wonder how many of those. I wonder how many of those I'll find that I made.
Are you gonna buy just a couple extra?
Yeah, I'll probably buy 2 of each, to be honest with you. Did I already give you the one before that, the C041?
No.
10 UF, 50 volt. One UF, 50 volt. Don't know which number that one is. I can't really tell. Might be C610, but I don't think so.
I'll put a question mark next to it.
Cool. 50 volt, 10 UF, C036. C038 is 16 volt, 100 UF.
This is still on the bottom board, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe it's 10 volt 470 UF and C042. I'm just going to snap a picture of that one too. Yeah, 470 UF 10 volt C, I think 036.
It was 042. You gave me 036 as a 10 microfarad 50 volt.
So I'll double check which one of these is which when I get the board out and when I could actually see which of these C numbers it's pointing to. So I guess leave a question mark next to that, but
Okay.
because some of them are very obvious and some of them it's like any one of these caps could be C42. 25 volt 47 microfarad, and there are 3 of them, C601, 602, and 603. (16 volt 10 UF C136). And I think we get all the ones on the bottom board. The problem with me not having a full understanding of, electronics is that I'm not sure which of these caps is for which part of the circuit. So if I was just RGB modding, I could probably get away with only replacing the caps that control the tube. But because I also want to do this as a test to see if the component video input improves as well, bless you.
Bless you.
Then we should do the other ones. And this isn't too bad, and I might even be able to remove this one. Okay. One down.
So we move into the other board?
Yes.
Okay.
Provided I can get this thing off without damaging anything.
I'm calling it the jungle board.
That might actually be what it's called. Ash? In the way this board, the whole back of this board is made, it'll be really easy to mount a SCART connector in here. So this will be fun. This will be a real easy one to RGB mod. You don't have to run reams of wires back and forth. This will be perfect.
Do some of them have like a cutout in the back panel already for it? Just it's covered?
I believe some of them do, but it's I can't remember if I've ever seen one like that. I know the Extron Emoshes, if you look at the board where the video comes out, there's actually the pinout for the SCART connector right there. So it's kind of funny. You could just see the different region of it. Holy crap, look at that. How much easier is this going to be now? Now we have a separate board. All right. All right, this should go super quick then for the second board. C158 10 UF 50 volt. C159 25 volt 47 UF. C372 50 volt 1 UF. Get that. Trying to find myself. Where's in camera? There's in camera. All right. Did I get the C number of that one for you? 50 volt 1 UF C372.
Yep.
Okay. C371 50 volt 1 UF. C373 25 volt 47 UF. C157 50 volt 10 UF. C151 50 volt 1 UF. Same rating for C152 as well, 50 volt 1 UF.
What was the rating for 157? Was it 10?
Yes. 10,
Okay, and then
10 UF 50 volt.
And then C152 and C150. Did you say 1?
Yes.
Okay.
We're 50 volt 1 UF, not 10 UF.
Yeah, I got those.
Okay.
Hi, Slaughterhouse. My DJ buddies.
Nice. Two 50 volt 2.2 UF caps, 335 and 338.
What was the... Sorry. I was drinking.
It's okay. What are you drinking? Anything good?
No, Diet Coke.
Boo, I got water too. 50 volt 2.2 UF.
Okay.
1 UF 50 volt C343. C331 is 16 volt 100 UF. C333 25 volt 47 UF. C083 is 50 volt 1 UF. C082 50 volt 4.7. C84 is 50 volt 2.2. C86 is 0.47, 50 volt. C89 is 3.3 and 50 volt. C90 is 1 microfarad 50 volt. C91 is 10 microfarad 50 volt. 93 is 1 microfarad 50 volt. Same thing with C92, 1 microfarad 50 volt. C95, same thing. C94 is 4.7, 50 volt. 50, sorry. And that's all the ones around the NEC chip here.
Cool. So it's like another, what, 10, 15 more?
Yeah, not too bad. We're like 9/10 of the way done. I just need a water break myself. Is this as exciting when you do it to pinball machines?
I've never had to recap a pinball machine, but the LED one I have to actually like take pictures because there's a lot of stuff embedded under plastics.
Ugh.
So we had to pull off ramps, three ramps, unhook a crane.
Jeez.
Hopefully not break plastic.
They always remind me of like really complicated mini golf courses. Like there's always traps and things to go under and around and
Yeah, like the subways. When it goes under the board, it's called a subway.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yep.
that.
Yeah, so if you like shoot into a scoop and it like ends up, somewhere else completely, if there's actually a tunnel, that's just called a subway.
Oh. Okay, so there are 4 caps that are all the same rating. 10 microfarad, 50 volt. And that's C520, 514, 513, and 512.
Okay.
3 that are also the same, 47 microfarad, 25 volt. And that's C522, 521, and 519.
Okay.
C501 and 502 are both 50 volt, 10 microfarad.
I love reading chat. I look over, it's the question, but why Sharpie? What is edgy about Sharpie? Like, you have to scroll back up and see why.
50 volt for 0.47 microfarad are both for C391 and 392. One microfarad, 50 volt for C504. Actually, 1 microfarad, 50 volt is also for C505, C515, and 516. Last handful.
Yay!
50 volt, 47 microfarad is C205. C211 and C231 are both 10 microfarad, 50 volt. C215 is 0.47 microfarad, 50 volt. Three more that are the same, 235, 233, and 232 are all 10 microfarad, 50 volt. And C251 is 47 microfarad, 50 volt. We might be done.
So in chat, they mentioned how the Sharpie logo is pretty distinctive. The thing is that my friend actually had Smarpies, the knockoff Sharpies.
That is awesome.
So from afar, you couldn't tell. When you wrote with them, you could, though. They were terrible.
That is pretty freaking funny. Let me just double check, but I think that's it. I think we're done. Maybe if I bribe Jose with beers, he'll come over and we'll each take a board, and I think we all know which one I'll be taking to do the the recap on.
That neck board.
Yeah, you know what? I'll take 2 boards because I'm such a nice guy. I'll take the neck board and this board right over here, with everything conveniently located and super easy to get to.
I feel like that's not how that works at all.
Did we? I guess write down C951. Did we end up getting that one? I think that's the one I had to take a picture of, and I just forgot to mark it off with a Sharpie.
I don't have that one.
Let me get the picture, because
Which board was it on?
the big board, the main board.
The big board? Oh yeah, it's 470 microfarad and some type of voltage. that ends in a 5.
That was that one. Okay. That was that giant pain. Okay.
This is my question volt.
Let's see if I can handle a question mark on it. Nah, you can barely even see it. I'll just mark it off like the rest.
I was about to say, unless you had a different color Sharpie.
I do not. I was actually going to look for that before, but that way if I had anyone that I had a question about. I think that's everything. So if anybody in the chat, I know Retro Tech is in the chat or was in the chat, and Ash is in there too. Is there anything else while it's open that we should be worrying about to replace? So, you know, since it's open, since we're here, is there any kind of general, like, well, you know, since it's open type of thing? Because, like, for me, very often, depending on the console, I'll replace the 7805s, even though you absolutely don't need to. I just don't ever want to open it again, stuff like that.
Also, don't mind me. I'm actually counting right now. I'm trying to like get like the actual list.
Yeah, I'll see if I can grab the video camera and give a little preview tour of what this is going to be like. So we got the back of it right here, but as you can see, there's nothing right here on the back, and that might actually be the perfect size for a SCART connector. So I might be able to put, you know, we'd have to, it'll go through where the writing is here, but that might fit a SCART connector perfectly, and be out of the way of stuff, and make it so that you could put the back of, or you don't, I guess the better way to say it is a lot of these RGB TV mods I've seen, you end up modding the back case of the TV. So you have to be very careful when you put it back together. There's a lot of long wires. Whereas if we're just going from here to here, that's going to be a short wire run and you don't even have to worry. And in fact, there was a few TVs, I asked Jose to put the SCART connector here on the side, just for that exact reason, so that you could leave the back off and not have to worry. Let me at least just get the rear connector off. You know you're nerds when you're planning on having a recap party. Bunch of beers, couple of pizzas, and 2 desoldering stations.
Sounds like a good time. I would love a replace all my LEDs party. Actually, I don't know if I really want that. It's such a pain.
I was going to say, that sounds like a lot of work.
I still have to buy mine. I'm really bad at lately. I just haven't bought it. Haven't bought what I needed to.
I always liken a lot of this stuff to rebuilding cars. It's just the advantage is you don't need a garage and a lift to do it, but it's still a pain in the ass. Okay. Board. Save. I will be back in 1 second.
Don't wear flip-flops. personally think that everybody should come over and finish all of the projects that I haven't done that I'm supposed to do.
Alright, those things get a lot dirtier than they look, so I just washed all the funk off. It's not too much of the Sharpie Armageddon here, though.
Are your hands just blue?
Not quite. Let me get my camera back up here, and I'll, So not too bad. Couple of, couple of accidentals.
50 volts seems to be the popular voltage.
So do you want to send me a link to where, like your cap page that you're at now, the direct part, and then maybe I'll take some of the list and.
So the thing is that it's just, yeah, it's just this. Do you want it in Skype or Discord?
Discord, please. I don't know. I don't trust Skype for anything anymore.
I still had to click on capacitors. Unfortunately, trying to go through a list of numbers that all are either 1s, 4s, or 2s. It's kind of hard to read sometimes.
TN Thing wanted to know if I get a picture of the model numbers on each board. No, but I will. When we do the actual recap, I'm going to make sure to get excellent pictures of that with the good cameras and all that stuff.
I'm really sorry, my stomach is growling. I ate lunch, but...
I'm just always hungry, so...
I think we're going to have to totally go get sushi after this.
Oh, sushi.
This looks like my college chemistry notebook. Sorry if I talk to myself a little bit. I just don't want to miss one and have you be like, you know...
I swear to myself all the time, so don't feel bad.
I was recapping it, and, you know, you totally forgot like 10 of these. I had to wait.
Nah. I'm very much expecting that I made a mistake on one of them. I tried really hard to double and triple check everything, but, you know, you can't win them all.
No, thankfully the we'll call it the jungle board, is a lot easier. Like, everything's almost all the same. It's a bunch of duplicates, so...
Yeah. Hey, is Twitter like stopped dead in its tracks slow for anybody else this past week? Because I tried resetting my FiOS router, I tried flushing DNS, but anything under my wireless is screwed. And I think even on it was like that on cellular. I don't know why I'm not thinking of the word cellular. Maybe I should go get a beer.
You mean like your Twitter is just not loading fresh messages or anything?
No, it just takes forever. Like if you click on notifications, it's like 2 or 3 minutes for that to load up.
That's weird. I'm also trying to put them in numerical order so we don't like have to like jump back and forth.
Yeah.
What's interesting is I'm always curious as to how they decided to label the things that they did the way that they did. Like the numbering scheme.
You know, when we were doing stuff like that in schematics for our computers, there was absolutely no rhyme or reason to it. We'd start on the board and just, you know, the first thing that we typed on was resistor number 1, and it meant nothing other than it was the first thing we clicked on.
It'd be a lot easier because sometimes I'm looking at certain boards and I have to keep jumping from side to side. It's pretty annoying.
Yeah, Sterling's right. I'll be right back.
I don't blame everybody if they're, drinking right now, because I have to read this, or I would.
Well, the good news is I got a beer, but the bad news is the only thing left in my fridge was a giant Yingling 99-calorie light beer. This is going to be awful. I'm so nervous to open this up and try it.
Oh, light beer. Oh, I'm so sorry.
You know what? I've had way worse. Way worse than that. It's not good.
I was about to say, it's not like you said that you went and grabbed a, I don't know, Natty Ice.
Yeah, I think when I moved to the city, everything was so much more expensive that I just decided to go out and find my favorite of the shitty beers. And PBR, 100%. There's no doubt in my mind that was it. But then I tried all of the rest of them, and Rolling Rock was by far the worst because it just tastes like beer-flavored water, and I think I downed like 6 of them one night and did not even get the slightest feeling of a buzz at all.
We were at a house party, and I think it was Miller, not even like Miller Lite, and it was warm. And that's what the for beer pong was. It was terrible.
Cousin Scott and I were at a party many years ago, and we didn't want to drink whatever nasty beer they had, and they didn't want to use their good beer for beer pong. So I said, "Screw it, we're going to use Jägermeister," and we played like four rounds of beer pong with Jägermeister. So we won, but at the end of that day, I'm not sure who really won.
No one won.
Probably nobody.
Your toilet might have won.
No, we're not pukers. We have iron stomachs. We've had both of us have had we'll eat something. We'll all eat the same food at the same party, and somebody will be like, "Oh, my stomach feels weird," and not us, nothing. I think the ghost peppers I used to eat have a lot to do with that too. I think anytime germs get into my stomach, they're like, "Yeah, let's fuck this guy up." Oh my god, are those ghost peppers? Abort! Everybody out! Everybody out!
Oh, I can't eat spicy stuff like that. It kills me. I'm almost done writing down all the values that we need and quantities, so
cool.
Very close.
No rush. I just appreciate all of this very much.
And then when you go to recap it, you should write down the first set of 20 caps again.
Right, absolutely. Electron Ash says he gets all of his American history from watching the American Pie movies. Yeah, and I get all of my British history from watching Monty Python movies. So screw you, Ash.
Still might be better than American Pie.
Yeah, it's probably still more accurate.
470. Yeah, I don't know. Some of these, the 35 volt ones are just weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe it's a case where they had a ton of them in their warehouse because they already bought it for other stuff, so they just allocated it to that.
I'm putting a star next to the working voltage one. Because that one was just weird.
Actually, what is that one? Let me look that one up now so I can just start trying to find something sort of around that.
Yeah.
Caps. Was that we don't know. It ended in a 5 volt and then it was 470?
Oh, that one was 470 microfarad in either 25 volt or 35 volt, but that wasn't the working. That wasn't the WV one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That one was 470 microfarad, 200 WV.
I'm going to be dropping this one in the chat too, so if anybody wants to verify this, because this one's very weird.
Did you take a picture of it?
I did. I did. Maybe I dropped that in there too. Yeah. Here's the play along at home game, folks. Anybody want to jump in and check this out? And I just dropped that in the chat.
Sweet. I think it's the 2200, and then we're done. At least for this part of it. It's a multi-stage process.
I found the picture. I will post this up here in 1 second.
Yep, okay. Oh, so, I wish you could, it's probably not going to show up very well. Can you see it at all?
Sorta. You might want to just snap a picture of it and send it to me.
Yeah. And then you can pick out which ones you want to start searching. They are at least organized by microfarad, but not by voltage, so you have to actually read it.
Alright, I just dropped that in the, it should pop up on YouTube in a second, but I just dropped the working voltage one in there so people could post their opinions. Ash, Bob, you don't actually expect us to help, do you? No, but I'm still going to ask you to, Ash, because fuck it, you're here.
Right? Alright, I'm going to start with the, well, 10 microfarad, 50 volt.
So this is all of them? That's actually pretty cool.
Yep. And I have them written down with their actual C numbers on the other pages that I can, these ones I can actually scan to you from work. That way it's a lot clearer.
So you're going to start top left, and I will start bottom, like, you know, bottom up, I guess is the best way to put it.
Are you going to start with the 2200?
Yeah. And
okay.
I will drop a link to this in the chat for anybody that wants to jump in if anybody feels like it. Here's a great time for Ash to get me like an exploding cap, just or something. I'm gonna put it in just for him to have some fun with. There you go, dude.
Give me 1 second though. I want to find my hoodie. I accidentally turned on the air conditioning way too low.
What?
I turned on the air conditioning way too low. Where's my hoodie? I was asking where's my hoodie?
Oh.
Can you grab it for me?
Where?
It's like right there.
I think you grab it.
Because I
So I'm not sure if anybody sees the blank white spot that just appeared on the screen. Window capture does not work for me anymore for Firefox. So that sucks. All right. Well, at least we have Danielle's window here. We'll get that a little bigger.
So at least with Arrow, I know like each of them is slightly different, but with Arrow, I at least start by sorting by in stock.
Oh, that's a good call.
So once you're in capacitor, because you can see my screen a bit bigger than what's on the stream, right?
Yeah, I just rearranged it, so you should be able to see your screen pretty well now. We don't even need me in this. Let me just...
No, you can stay there.
I'll hang out here creepily in the corner looking at Perfect.
Oh no, Ash wrote full bridge rectifier in chat. I'm dead.
I should have worn that shirt.
Oh.
A full bridge rectifier. You know, when I met up with Crix, that was the first thing he noticed. He looked out and he was like, I don't know if he knows the YouTuber or if he just got the formula, but he liked that.
Oh man. I need to go watch Electro Boom after this. Eat sushi, watch Electro Boom. It'd be a good time.
You keep saying sushi, and now I'm definitely going to go out and get sushi.
It's called peer pressure.
Yeah.
So I always do the in-stock thing just for obvious reasons. And I did the 22 microfarad, or 0.22 microfarad. I don't know if okay, it looks like they do list everything in microfarads, other until you get up to regular farads. I was wondering if they did, was it pico? Picofarad? No. Nanofarad.
Yeah.
So, and then I just picked the voltage here. So, the other thing is I'm going to have to tell it, I'm going to scroll over and find the termination style, because you can get SMDs. I'm actually trying to read all of these. I usually don't go much further than that. Or you could just scroll down. But what you have to do is you do have to hit apply after you make your option changes, and then, there's only 2 available, so.
The other thing, too, arrow pages take a minute to load, so you think you're at a page, but you might not actually be. It's a weird thing to say, I know, but...
Sterling, I know Pico is smaller than Nano, but I don't know about Peta. Peta should be bigger. Like petabytes, petaflops. Yeah, exactly, Ash. Like 220 nanofarad is the same as 0.22 microfarad. Yay, SI notation. But, I mean, at least these actually both pulled up Nichicon straight up, so you don't even have to try to dig down through the manufacturer. We'll probably have to closer to like the 10 microfarad 50 volt ones, just because there's so many more options. So, do you want me to click on one and then give you the link so you can add this to your cart?
Actually, if you want to if we both drop the links in our Discord, then I could just make it based off of that. And then I'll post this for everybody else, of course. Actually, I'm going to wait to post it to make sure that I don't make a mistake on it.
I don't know how to do a mu in...
How to do a what?
The mu, the micro.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember how to do that. Where is it? Okay, I'll just write you then. So... You want me to do it like that? They send it to you like that?
Yeah.
And then I'll write like times how many you need?
Yeah, that's perfect.
That works.
For anybody playing along at home, I just dumped that in the chat.
Oh god, the fifths. Okay. Even though, totally American, I do not like imperial measurements whatsoever. It's just so confusing.
Definitely makes less sense.
Well, it's like, how do you, I don't know. At least with everything else, you can kind of equate it to other things, but it's like when you try to describe something to someone, you're like, yeah, so we have, what is it? 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon, or 3 tablespoons into an ounce, 8 ounces in a cup. It's like,
Or like that scene in Die Hard with a Vengeance where you have 3 buckets of water and you need to get that last. I don't know if you're a Die Hard fan, but I love that one.
I haven't seen that one in a while. But it's a Christmas movie, so maybe I'll watch it during Christmas.
It is my favorite Christmas movie.
I will say the other bad part about Arrow is sometimes it will delete your cart.
Really?
I don't know what it was the one day, and I don't know if it was like something else I was doing, but I opened everything up in tabs, and then it deleted out, what was it? It was all the stuff for my mice and keyboard adapters for my X68K I'm making.
You're making. So
Yeah.
like you're rebuilding out of parts of other ones.
No, they're like they're adapter boards, so you use PS2 mice.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. So, would you prefer Nichicon over everything?
If there's a choice of a better grade one, I would always happily pay for it because I just don't want to do this twice. And with stuff that you only turn on when you use, you might not ever have to do this again for the rest of your life. But even if you have arcade machines that like you power on every day, you might end up having to do this every 5-10 years, depending. Jose just had to recap a chassis at one of the Neo Geo cabs, and he just did it a few years ago. But they're on 7 days a week, and they're played. They're played by all the pro players that go over there.
You don't care about the tolerance, right? Because most of these are coming up 20%.
That should be fine. Yeah, because I mean, I would always like a better tolerance, but it's much harder with capacitors to find one. So I just use whatever the default is.
Also on this website, which I think DigiKey also and Mouser does this too, but watch out when it says a minimum of 500.
But doesn't Arrow automatically offer like alternatives?
Sometimes. Like, I mean, this one is kind of confusing because it says a minimum of 1, but if I do 1, oh, I guess it did work. It was when I clicked on it, it actually showed 500. It said minimum 500, but it says increments of 1. But if you type in, I don't know, let's do it. 6. Yeah. Requested quantity exceeds stock amount. That's not how that works. What? Price for 500? Is it 3 cents for 500 of those? What? I'm gonna hit buy. I'm gonna see what it does. No, it doesn't work. Their website is not saying the right words. It's saying requested quantity exceeds in stock amount. No, it means you haven't hit the minimum, so. Their website can be such a pain sometimes. I was using it because of the free.
Yeah, I'm just automatically going with higher ratings than what it says, and I'm just putting the one that I got in parentheses. So like 2200 microfarad, 25 volt, and in parentheses 35 volt, because that's the one that I just ordered.
You want me to grab the
If you've
higher
already
voltage?
if you've already done some, just leave it as it is. But any newer ones, yeah, I would, just because. And I found that I wish Zach was here to make fun of me on this, but I'm just so used to in my brain of things that are built for higher voltages, like are slightly less temperature sensitive. It might not be true though.
Which was the cap that you would have clearance issues on?
None on this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking again. Not one of the ones would have an issue unless they would have to be twice as wide in order for it to be an issue.
So you want it like this. I'm really bad at this today. So it's supposed to be a 50 volt, but I grabbed a 100 volt for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'll also post it in Discord so you don't lose it. But you may have to. Why? Their website's being dumb for me. I might have to.
I had to close it out and open it at one point when we first started this.
There's 6. Yeah, that's weird. On the first page, I'm giving up on this. Right, I'm trying to figure out why their page is so broken.
I like how on Arrow you could clear a value and then... Oh, wait, I spoke too soon. You could clear a value and then hit it again, and then you don't have to reset the entire search. But when you do that, you have to give it a minute to, like, refresh by itself. It doesn't have, like, a loading sign on it or anything.
Yeah, sometimes it does the dots, sometimes it doesn't. I do appreciate the fact that they have... Every time I've searched so far, it comes up with Nichicon first. Nichicon?
Nichicon? Good point. So I have 3 1000 microfarad here, and 3 different voltages, and I'm thinking I'm just going to get 50 volt and use that for all of them to make it easier.
That works. I mean, I guess, let me see if I could bump up the ones, because there's only a singular 160 volt for the 1 microfarad. So if I go 200, if everything has 200. This looks like I'm doing a mathematical equation to make this link.
It's funny, you know, you think this stuff is so straightforward, and there's always a hiccup. There's always something.
One of the weird things I saw was, so the adapter board I was making was, it was something I found, it was all in Japanese, so I kind of had to, do a little bit of translation through Google Translate. But the problem was that one of the parts that it called for was a square, thin LED.
A square, thin LED?
Yes, and I've never seen LEDs like that. I've only seen, the regular, normal LEDs that, when you say LED, that's what you think of. And what was really hilarious is that when I actually was trying to search for it, it was like I couldn't figure out what the word for it was, because it's flat, and it wasn't an SMD. It was actually a through-hole piece. Only one, I could only find one of them on Arrow, so it was supposed to be a bunch of different colors, so they're all yellow. But it was pretty weird that it was like, just such a weird piece. I think it's just to tell you if the if the mouse is connected.
Do you just run into crazy shit all the time with your 68K?
Yes. Just yes. The problem with the 68K is that the 68K. I guess the first problem is that you expect that like the power supply is going to be dead. Then you get that fixed. Then you forget that it does have 30-plus-year-old floppy drives inside.
Yeah. Yes.
So I got mine working, and then all of a sudden, randomly, it just stopped working. Like the floppy drives would not load anything. So then you go and you clean them, and you have to, relube them and all that good stuff. Then you go again, and then you have, like, what was the other thing that happened? Replacing the battery in the bottom, because it does, it will take out the traces in the bottom, so you don't want that to happen.
What do you use to grease them up? Somebody, I used to use lithium grease for everything, everything like that, where you would kind of want a coating. But somebody recommended something different for disk drives.
Shitsu or something like that. It's like a Honda. I think it's like a Honda silicon.
Huh.
I think it is. Let me try to find it. Oh, what is it? It's like. Let me find the picture. Shinetsu. It's auto grease, is what I was recommended. Yeah, you're way quicker at this than me right now.
That's just luck. It's usually the opposite. When we were looking for those potentiometers, you had 3 of them up before I found one.
I don't know how. Some of them I don't know. I guess luck is it.
Ninja.
Also, that was also when I was going through and actually trying to find a bunch of stuff for me too. So I already had like most of the pages up and had seen it.
Oh, alright.
I haven't been on Arrow in a bit, just because I haven't had to buy anything recently. For my last, I bought a couple cap kits from Console 5, just because I really didn't feel like trying to find anything myself.
Oh yeah, Luke makes everything so much easier.
And he ships so quickly.
Yep.
Alright. That should work.
Alright, Ash, take a look at that one. Is that one that you would think is for, that would work with the working voltage one? I just dropped that in there if you wouldn't want to double check the actual specs of that thing.
What's flash floppy? Now I'm curious.
Hey, so I have a really dumb question. If next to these markings, if you have 2 single lines, that's 2, not 11, right?
Right.
Okay, just double checking.
I feel like lately all of half the things that I work on it's leaky battery.
Really?
Yeah, it's just because it's, you buy it and then you're the first one to open it up or even take a look at it in years. So I bought I did a live stream where I unboxed 100 pounds of stuff from Japan.
Was that the one that you just did?
Yeah, it was like 2.5 weeks ago, something like that. 3 weeks ago.
Oh no, I missed. There
Yeah,
wasn't.
there's.
There was another one that you did. I missed both of them, but I went back to try to see the giant box from Japan one, and I don't think you had it archived.
Yeah, I finally got that working today. I also put up my pinball stream. I apparently never put that one up either.
The one where you replaced the LEDs.
No, the one where I'm playing my game for the first time.
Oh. Yeah, we do that now and then. Play as opposed to just work on.
Few and far between. There's not only the GoTech mod out for the 68K, but there's someone who makes the FDX68, but it's all in Japanese, so. I am, what's the last game that you played, though?
Me? Jeez. I don't even know. I don't
Do you
even
know
remember.
how to play video games anymore?
Sometimes I don't think so. Whenever I hang out with people like Carsey or Art or Cruz, no, I feel like I don't know how to play video games anymore. They whoop my ass so quickly, it's not even funny.
I've been playing a bunch of Dead Cells.
Which one was Dead Cells?
You start off as a guy, and it's a randomly generated levels, like a roguelike.
I did play that, and I got about an hour into it, and was like, "Oh god, this sucks." It's just the same thing over and over and over.
See, when you get into the higher levels, it's where it's at.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wes from Second Opinion Games went off on that one. He loved it so much. And that's really why I stuck with it and gave it a chance for like the hour, 2 hours, and I couldn't. Maybe I'll give it another chance. But Bloodstained is coming out.
Was that the one that took a while to come out?
Yeah.
I also just bought Cadence of Hyrule.
Which one's that? That's like the brand new Switch one that just came out?
Yeah, the Crypt of the Necrodancer. But Zelda.
Right.
What's nice is that if you know about the game, you can actually go ahead and turn off jumping at the beat. So if you're really bad at rhythm games, then it just becomes like a Zelda roguelike.
Huh. I tried to play Cave Story, the Genesis port. I was so excited about it. I loved that game on the Wii. And I had a triple bypass Genesis ready to go. And then I played it for about an hour and a half. Saved. Like, even though with the EverDrives you don't need to hold reset, I still did anyway and made sure the save worked. And then I turned it off, turned it back on again. The save was dead. So then I tested it, and the save doesn't work on it.
What?
So, like, it's the same thing. Like, right now, if you grab a flash cart or something, and you reset, it'll save. But as soon as you power cycle, it's gone. It's a weird... I think it's just a glitch in the way it reads the save files.
So, I'm going to assume this is A Bridgewater. I actually have a SCSI to SD inside my X68000. Even though mine is a sassy X68000.
Why is it sassy? Scuzzy?
The precursor to SCSI is sassy.
Was it really?
Yeah, Shugart Associates serial interface.
Oh, that's right, it was. Huh. Hey, hold on. Sorry about the... I couldn't find the mute button. Sorry about the sirens.
So on my system, you have to have a working SRAM battery, or you have to load a floppy every time you boot. You go using the floppy, you actually go in and you set up a SXSI driver, aka so it works with both SASE and SCSI drives.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can like reboot, and you create like a bootloader. And so once it boot loads, then you can, shove in your SCSI drive, set it up properly, and it works fine.
I had a Tandy 1000 that you would have to boot from floppy. It never had a hard drive in it. I went back to try to work on that a million years ago, and it just never got around to it. Never found one. Or I never got the parts working for it. I never figured out what the deal was.
I just regret. I had my mom's original Model 2 Genesis that died.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because of a spider got into it and made a nice home in there.
Gross.
And so we just tossed it. And I regret that because, I mean, heck, I could fix that now.
Yeah, right?
Kind of frustrating.
There was a lot of stuff I had as a kid that if I had just held on to, I could have fixed. But I'd bought and sold things so many times in life.
Anson, it's like I have had to deal with that, and I was telling other people who wanted to buy an X68K like what to watch out for, because it can be such a pain in the ass. Like you don't want to do what I did where, oh, replace one part, okay, have to wait for another part, replace another part, have to wait for another part. I bought it in October and didn't play it until December. Oh no, I think I finally finished it in March. I could play games in December, but like getting the bootable drive in there and everything was March.
I think that's one of the things that absolutely needs to be archived properly, because it's such a unique and awesome computer.
There's a lot. One of the problems is like the imaging of it, because it uses, everything's pretty, I don't want to say proprietary, but it's not standardized to what we grew up with. Mm-hmm. Like the floppy drive, I'll use FM Towns as an example. A 3.5 inch drive would be 144 megabytes. There it's 1.2 megabytes. It uses like a different sector, setup, everything. Mm-hmm. Huh.
I've seen one in person once, and I've never used one and never messed with it myself.
I have an FM Towns, the X68K, a bunch of MSXs. The latest video, I picked up a PCFX and a Casio Loopy. Have you ever heard of a Loopy?
I have. What do you use it for, though?
Oh, God, it's terrible.
I can only bet. I can only bet.
I don't read Japanese at all, so I have regrets. I actually want to try to find a way to make a flash cart for it.
That's some funny shit. I forgot, somebody contacted me the other day asking if I knew of a ROM cart and a way to RGB mod a Casio Loopy.
I can honestly say that was not me, at least.
No, it was, I don't want to drop a name, but it was somebody that likes, that just likes to have the best stuff for their stream, and I'm like, I think that's a bit of a waste of time. And they're like, well, let me know. I'll pay somebody to do it.
I would have to actually look at the chip on there. I think it uses a similar chip to, I don't know what part of it would be I think the RGB is a Sony chip in there. So
that would be possible if it's the CXA.
It's one sec, I actually have it on my desktop.
That's awesome.
It is a CXA 1645M.
Yeah, so you should be able to do it then.
Oh gosh, I should make an RGB mod for mine.
Do you have a scope?
Yes.
You could just get the input values then, and then drop them in a chat somewhere, and one of us nerds will figure it out for you. When I say us, I don't mean me. I just mean I'll ask. I'll ask somebody else to help us out with that. But do you know how to calculate values? Steve's taught me so many times, and I never quite get it.
I have never actually tried to, but if it's math, I mean, it's math. I think it would. I'd have to go and look and stuff. I'm still trying to learn the video side of it. I just know how to do other people's mods. The loopy Ash. This is what the loopy has in it. Let me grab the list. It uses a Hitachi Super H RISC. This is the model number. So I don't know if it's a SH1 or an SH2, which is very similar to what, like the 32X? Let's see.
I think the 32X is just one of the most gigantic pains in the ass piece of shit thing I've ever worked with.
Really?
Yeah, because it's finicky, it doesn't work right, and you can never get good captures. And even if you do stuff like oversample, so you don't have to worry about setting phase, there's still so much interference. It's so hard just to make it look good.
That's fair. I bought one and I recapped it, but I haven't used it because I haven't really used my Sega Genesis since. So, was I on the loopy thread? I don't remember. I made a no, because I just picked up the loopy like a couple weeks ago.
Hey, I think we're both on the same one now.
Both on
47.
Yep.
All right, I think I'm just gonna grab like a 63. Yeah, 63 volt. I think that's it for this one. So we might actually be done. Let me get this in like a thing where I could present it for people.
Yeah, and then I don't know. Let me take a picture of this. Don't mind my reminder up top that 1 microfarad is 1,000 nanofarads. And the writing on the second page is a little crap, but...
Second page. We got another page?
Yeah.
We're not done then.
Wait, what do you mean? No, the second page of the where I list the capacitor numbers. So it's neck board, main board, jungle board.
Oh, okay.
So no, this sheet is listed and it's all set up.
The picture that you sent me is every cap.
Yep, and I just sent you
Okay.
2 more. Nope, I accidentally sent you one. Let me delete the... Come on, Discord. I accidentally sent you one of them twice, so let me delete this. Let me try again.
Alright, so that page you sent me has a total of 1, 2, 3, 4... 29 types of caps, and we consolidated a bunch, so there's 1, 2... We consolidated it down to 18. That's pretty cool.
Whole lot easier.
Alright, let me get this list up for anybody interested. Anybody that wants this list, feel free to use it, but please remember I haven't verified it yet, and I was just slamming my head into a neck board for an hour, so I might have made a mistake. So when Jose and I went to pick that TV up, it was my back had just healed. I was like back to normal-ish, and we walk, and he was there when I throughout all of the incidents pretty much. So we walked up to pick this one up. We were like, all right, let's not strain ourselves. Let's not be tough guys about this. Bend at the knees. We'll do it on 3. And we were each bracing ourselves on the other side. It's like 1, 2, and we almost threw the thing into the ceiling. We forgot how much lighter it was compared to the professional grade stuff that we use. So we were expecting like 150 pounds, and it was like 50 pounds. We were like, shit. Okay, never mind. It's good. Carry like 2 or 3 of these.
Nice. When we brought my pinball machine in, and by we I mean my boyfriend and his friend, because I can't lift it. They when I took off the legs, the back's pitched higher, so the legs are extended a bit more. So all my job was to put on the legs, and I put them on where the corners, like opposite corners, had the long legs, and the other opposite corners had the short legs. So it would just kind of like rocked back and forth. So then they had to lift it up again while I undid 2 of them and put them back. So
we have all been there, and if anybody tells you they haven't, they're lying.
I don't know. I'm just happy that my PVMs are the 13-inch ones, because I don't think I could handle anything like a 29-inch one. I mean, the 27-inch Sony Trinitron I have is way too heavy.
I just got used to them. I just after carrying them around for so long, it's like, all right, lean into it, you're good.
Ash, I'm going to have to pick your brains, since I know you know a lot of really crazy stuff, but at least how to start creating an emulator for the Casio Loopy, because apparently no one's ever done it. Not because they haven't tried, but because no one seems to understand how the real BIOS is. I guess they dumped the one BIOS chip that they could find on there, but the problem is that's for the sticker printer. That's not an actual regular BIOS.
So I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I just updated the description with the cap list that we came up with. Maybe it'll refresh in a minute.
It'll be after everybody leaves.
Yeah, unfortunately. Let me load it up in a different window and see.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Woohoo! All right. So, thank you so much for your help. Just about 2 hours, full cap list. If this works, this should be the same cap list for almost all of these, regardless of size, because they have the same boards in them. I'm pretty sure that's even the same board they use in the 27 and the 36. So, we may have just made some serious progress here, or not, but we'll figure that out. So, thank you very much, Daniel. I really appreciate it. This was fun for me. Hopefully it didn't suck too much for the people just watching me bump my head into the neck board of the monitor, but
it's definitely fun. I would say do this again sometime, but just make sure it's not the BVM or anything like that.
No, the Neo Geo one that I'll get to eventually. I'm not in a rush because it's not taking up too much space, whereas this thing is giant and in the way. But I think that has half the amount of caps, and I'll be able to take the board physically out 100% with like 3 wires hooked up to it. So it'll be much easier. But
oh, that's way easier.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for everybody who watched and hung out. I know this was probably a boring stream, but it's always fun to see people. So we'll do it again next time.
And the next time that I stream, which should be soonish, I should be streaming the X68K. So if you want to hear the MT32 being played with it, you guys can find me there.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that. And people could find you at the girl
The
girl G33K.
Yep. That's me, usually.
I'll add that Twitch link to the description as well for people. Oh,
there's also Twitter. Those are the easiest ways to find me if you're not in Discord.
I got the Twitter one in there already, and I just added the Twitch one.
Sweet.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thanks to everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.